Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Bear Trek Adventures. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their kind comments with the last video I put out on my delayed start date because of COVID. Really appreciate all the support and comments. This will probably be my last video I do before I hit the trail. I got roughly a week left. I'm going to do a final gear loadout. Basically, I didn't have time to do some of the other remaining gear videos I was going to do. So this is just a basically everything that I'm taking to start out Bama to Baxter. So down below in the video description, I will put the timestamps for each section of this video, basically each kind of category of the gear that I'm taking, just in case you want to jump to one particular section. It makes it easier because these videos are usually longer. I'll start out with my backpack. So I did a more detailed video on this, but basically I'm taking the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Junction 2400. So it's basically a 40-liter internal pack. Overall capacity, I think it's like 48 liters or so. And I basically removed everything from this that either I don't use or gets in the way. Mainly the hip belt, and this has worked out great for me. That's probably the biggest change I made to this pack. So on the outside, I have the Hyperlite Mountain Gear basically phone pouch. This is primarily where I keep my phone. Sometimes I'll throw some snacks in there. Sometimes a cloth to clean the camera lens. I got my Garmin InReach Mini, mainly to communicate with my wife when I don't have cell phone reception. I don't use this for navigation on these trips. I'll be using the Far Out app. And then I got the, this is a Waymark Gear shoulder pouch. I usually keep this loaded with snacks and different things like that. And then one of the new pieces that I've added, I've taken this on some of my trips and it works out good. I usually carry this in like colder weather. It's the Hyperlite basically fanny pack. I don't use the hip belt part of it or like the strap that goes around your waist, but on the Hyperlite packs there's like this opening that goes the whole way through. Usually the way I use that is I run the sternum strap through it, and then I'll carry it on my chest. Or if it starts getting too hot, sometimes I'll strap it to the side of the pack like this. I'll keep this on me until, you know, the temperatures really start warming up, at which point I'll be sending some gear home, and to put this on my chest in, you know, basically warmer weather, it just makes me sweat extra, so I'll send it home at that point. Mainly what I'm using this for, I did pick up the GoPro Hero 10. I had really bad luck with the Hero 9, so I'll mainly be carrying my GoPro in here with some snacks, maybe the trash throughout the day, extra food, things like that. So that's one thing I've added. Yeah, and with that, yeah, that's basically the pack I'm taking. All right, next up, the trekking poles that I'm taking. These are the CNOC carbon trekking poles. I mainly pick these up because they work great with the Z-Packs Altiplex tent, because I think they go up to like 60 or 62 inches or so. I do not recommend these poles at all. I've got 2 pairs of these now. I've had so many issues with manufacturer type of defects with these. I've had to return, well, one on the long trail, I broke a pair. The one pole I broke because of manufacturer defect. The other was my fault. And then I had bought a new set, and I found out that, you know, basically the markings on them, they're off by like 10, I think it's like 10 centimeters. So it kind of really screwed me up when I was trying to set up my tent a little bit. But yeah, I've had one problem after the other. I will never buy another pair of these. But I got 2 to start out the trail, so have my wife send me another second pair if I need to. And then on the outside of this, I have this, it's basically this Velcro strap. And on here, I have a GoPro connector, so I can connect the GoPro to this attachment, or I can set up my phone on that attachment. But what I use this a lot for is I'll use this pole to set up my tent, and so it creates this little lip here, and that's where I hang my backpack from. And then I got this other piece of Velcro attachment. I'll use this, like if I want to quickly mount the GoPro to a trekking pole, I'll just take that piece of Velcro and strap it around here. Or I can use it to strap it to a tree or something like that. But those are the trekking poles that I will be taking. All right, next up, basically my water filtration system and basically water storage. This is a recent change for me. I'm taking 2 smart water bottle, 1 liter bottles. One's going to be designated as clean water. The second one is going to be designated for dirty water, which I'll have my Sawyer squeeze attached to that. On cold days, I will keep the water filter inside my pack, wrapped around my puffy or something else to keep it warm. So that's the water bottles I'm taking. As of now, I'm taking this Evernew 2 liter water bag. Once I get past, once I finish the Pinhoti, I'll probably send this home because I think 2 liters should be plenty for the AT. I did just purchase this is the Evernew bag. I purchased the Platypus 2 liter bag. And basically I'm going to take whichever one fits best in my pack when it's fully loaded up with water. Oh, the next category, the good one, the poop kit. I carry everything inside this 1.5 liter Osprey. It's like an ultralight, like waterproof bag. This has gone on like every backpacking trip I've been on, and it goes on all my day hikes. And even in torrential downpours, this is never wetted through. Basically, so in here, this is where I keep just a water scoop in case I need it for those water sources that are really low, or to scoop out of puddles. And then I'm carrying 2 of these little bottles. One is filled up with, I'll fill this completely up with hand sanitizer, and this one's a little more than halfway full, Dr. Bronner's soap. And then right now I just have like maybe a couple days worth, maybe 3 days worth of basically toilet paper in there. And then I always carry a handful of these like dehydrated towelettes. They work good for going to the bathroom, or they really work good like kind of cleaning yourself up at night, washing off your face, your feet and everything. In the few resupply boxes that I'm sending myself or my wife that send them to me, I have like a bunch of these in each one of the resupply boxes. And then my trowel, I switched to this small titanium trowel. I have the Deuce of Spades too, but that Deuce of Spades, it really hurts my hand. There's like no protectant on the top where you like dig the hole, and that's hurt. So I picked up this. It has like a thin, I don't know, like plastic coating over the top, and I found this little titanium trowel. It digs just as good as the Deuce of Spades. All right, this next set of gear, this is basically my rain gear and like miscellaneous things I keep on the outside of my pack. I keep them in this dry bag here. There's just certain things that I like to keep on the outside of my pack that I like to keep dry. Once I send home like some of my cold weather stuff, I'll probably send this bag home too, because at that point I don't think I'm going to really have a need for it. But inside that pack, basically inside that pack, I keep my rain gear. Mainly I keep my rain gear in there because if I set my pack down in like a muddy area, I don't want my rain gear getting muddy. My Mont Bell Versalite rain jacket. I did a more detailed video on my rain gear setup, but I keep my rain jacket in there. My Mountain Hardwear Pack-Lite Plus rain pants, and this is the only pair of pants that I'm taking. I hike in my rain pants, and I'm good with hiking in these. Yeah, well, I've hiked in them down to about 0 degrees with some lighter layers underneath. But those are the rain pants I'm taking. I got the Z-Packs Virtus rain mitts that are going. And then if you saw my rain gear video, I have this small Montbell ultralight umbrella. I'm starting out with this. Once the temperatures warm up, I'll probably send this home. But in like the colder rains, like 30 to 40 degrees, this it really works nice. It keeps you a little bit warmer too, with you know, all the rain, cold rain collecting on your rain jacket. So that's my rain gear. The other things I keep in that bag is I have one of these pack towels. I mainly use this to wipe down the outside or inside of my tent when it gets wet. So that comes in handy for that, and it wrings out pretty good. My buff, which is nice in like cooler, I'd say cooler temps, or just to wipe stuff down. I use it for that too. Sometimes I use it as a sweat rag, multi-use piece of gear. I got the, taking a pair of sunglasses. I barely ever use sunglasses hiking, but when I need them, they come in handy. These are the Oakley 5 squared sunglasses. A little X-Pack wallet that I picked up on Etsy just to keep my cash and credit cards. This is my it's a Toast titanium spoon. I like that, to keep that on the outside, because for lunch sometimes I'll eat like oatmeal or something I need a spoon for. And then I keep my headlamp or headlight, the Nitecore NU25 in there. I like to have this handy at all times. And then not in the bag, but I do keep it on the outside, is my tent stakes. Shelter system. So I did another detailed video on this, but basically I'm taking the Z-Packs Ultraplex tent. Overall, this has worked really good for me. I've probably got, I don't know, 500-600 miles of trail time using this. Overall, it's worked really good. And I carried 10 of the carbon fiber stakes that I got from Z-Packs as well. I found I like these the best. I've tried many different kinds. I would say the MSR groundhogs, they probably stick in the ground better. But overall, these work really good as well. Next up is my cook system and like food storage, I guess you'd call it. As you know, if you've watched enough of my videos, I prefer to cold soak. This is I think it's like 475 or 500 milliliter little pot or soaking dish. This usually will fit one of the like backpacker meals, like mountain house meals. So this is basically my main cook system. I'll probably be doing this and just mainly dry foods. Probably going to try some different types of dry foods that I haven't maybe tried before. But to start out with, I am taking my little BRS canister stove, and I got a 650 milliliter Toast titanium pot. Instead of taking the lid that comes with this, I'm just taking some tin foil to, you know, makeshift the lid there. But to start out the trail, I'm not carrying the canister part of it. I only plan on picking up a canister for sections where it might be like really cold. So like nighttime lows calling for like below 25 degrees or so, I'll pick it up for that section of trail. But even in my cold weather shakedowns, I still cold soak my meals. I only used my cook pot for making hot tea. Taking a mini Bic lighter. Now my food storage. So I have this like green line from, I think I got this from Gossamer Gear. That's to hang my food bag. And I believe this is maybe a light AF like rucksack. And then something else I keep in my food bag is, this is a 8-ounce bottle. I keep olive oil in here. Right now I've probably got about 3 or 4 ounces maybe. This just to add calories throughout the day. I'll probably start out with like 3 ounces or so, and then you know, add it in with my food resupplies as I need it. My food bag, this is one of the Hilltop custom packs with the Bear Trek Adventures logo on there, so you can tell it apart from other folks' bags. For my food storage, I started doing something different back in October. It was something I picked up from my buddy Monk on the long trail. He would keep each day's food in just like a plastic like grocery bag for 2 reasons. One, because instead of putting all of your food in your food bag when you pack it in your pack, you can kind of separate it out more to make better use of your pack space. But the other reason is basically you just grab one of your bags each day and that's your food for the day. I tried the plastic grocery bags, but a lot of the food that I take was puncturing holes in them. So instead what I did is I got like 4 of these. It's a lightweight DCF, it's just a drawstring bag. And so each day's of food, I'll keep in one of these. Like I said, I'm taking 4 of these. I think each one weighs like 0.2 ounces. So I would say it's not too much more than just a grocery bag anyway. But yeah, that's everything else I have in my food bag. Right now I've got, well, right now there's 2 days of food in there. I fit as much as like 6 days of food in here before. But that is my food storage and cook system. All right, next up is my first aid kit. So I carry it in this little zipper pouch. I got a little bit of bandage here, an extra mini Bic lighter, 4 strips of KT tape, some various types of like DCF tape, basically a little extra line that I use as like a clothesline if I need it, some alcohol, cleaning pads, patch kit for my sleeping pad, some antibiotic ointment, a couple sets of earplugs for those snorers in the shelters, some Luco tape, a tick remover, a small amount of thread and a needle, a nice supply of Advil, which I know I will need when I start out, an extra O-ring for the Sawyer squeeze, a small little Swiss Army knife, a safety pin, some glue, and these are about 5 sets of like plastic socks. I use those at night if I need to put my shoes on, if my shoes are wet, and if need be, I will hike in them. All right, next up is my sleep system. Since I'm starting about 2.5 weeks later than what I originally was, I changed up my sleep system. It's one of the bigger changes I made with this later start date. So now I'm going with a 20-degree Enlightened Equipment quilt. The one benefit to this quilt versus my other quilts is I do have the draft collars on the head and foot area. And instead of taking the Thermarest X-Therm, which is more of a winter pad, I'm going with the Thermarest X-Lite, and I got the Sea to Summit Arrows pillow. So that is my sleep system I'm taking, and if I feel I'm going to need some extra added warmth on the underside of me, because of taking the X-Lite, I'll pick up a foam pad at one of the outfitters. Oh, the next piece of gear. This has been probably my most difficult one. The shoes I'm taking. So I normally hike in the Ultra Blown Peaks. I'm not starting out with this shoe. I do plan on switching over to it. I got one pair of the Lone Peak 5s left, and I got a pair of the Lone Peak 6. So I got 2 pair of Lone Peaks to start out. I'll probably switch to this shoe by the time I hit the AT. But to start out, I wanted a shoe with more cushion. And I said in my shoe video I put out that I was starting with the Ultra Olympus 4. The tread on this is pretty good. I was pretty happy with the tread, but what I found, I put, I'm gonna say probably at least 150 miles on this shoe, and it's held up really good. But this shoe has way too much cushion for me. I feel like I'm hiking on like a set of springs or something. So it's like way too bouncy for me. And actually I feel like it's rougher like on my calves too, calves and ankles than what the Lone Peak is. The Lone Peak, it's definitely my favorite shoe, but there's about 70 miles of road walk section on the Pinhoti. That's why I wanted a shoe with more cushion. So I recently picked up a pair of the Ultra Temps. This is the Temp 3 shoe. I got this, and I got another pair coming in black. This kind of sits right in between the Lone Peak and the Olympus as far as the cushion goes. So far, I only got about 10 miles on this particular shoe. It seems to, I think this shoe will work good for me on the Pinhoti. I think it'll give me what I'm looking for, which is a little bit extra cushion on those road walk sections. So that is the shoe I'm planning to start out with, the Ultra Temps 3s. And I'm glad I picked these up because the Ultra Temp, I guess it's the Temp 4s are coming out in like the next month. And that shoe looks like it has a little bit more cushion to it, which is kind of, I think this will give me a nice balance. So those are the shoes I'm taking. All right, next up is the clothes that I'm going to be hiking in. This hasn't changed too much. It's changed a little bit. For starters, I primarily hike in shorts. I'll hike in shorts down to about 40 degrees unless it's raining. These are the Patagonia Strider 7-inch shorts. These used to have like a boxer liner in them. I cut those out, and instead of using a boxer liner, I have the 6-inch Ex Officio boxers. I kind of prefer going with the separate boxers, mainly because at night, like if I want to hang them up to like dry out, I can hang them up separate. So that's the main reason for that. For the top, so a big shout out to Justin from Beyond the Trailhead Gear Company. He's really small, like one-man type of shop. He makes hiking hoodies out of the, it's becoming pretty big. It's called Polar Tech Alpha Direct. It's an extremely lightweight fleece hoodie. So I worked with him. He custom made me a couple different pieces of gear. One is this hoodie that I'm wearing now. This is primarily the hoodie I will be hiking in. This hoodie, one of the things I had them designed specifically for me is I wanted this hood with a shock cord so I could tighten it down. But I also wanted a wider cutout for the beard. So he made a little bit wider cut hood. I like to hike in these hoodies throughout the year, but especially when it's buggy out. I like to be able to throw up like a lightweight, put on a lightweight hoodie, so when the bugs are trying to get at your neck and stuff, I probably will just throw up the hood to hike in. It's also nice in some cooler temps. But yeah, he made this. This is a Polar Tech, what is it? Polar Tech, some type of dry material. Honestly, I forget what the material is called, but it's a Polar Tech, basically a lightweight material. This hoodie's about 5 ounces. So he made that piece, and then on the cooler days, I had him make me this. This is it's the same exact style hoodie, basically same dimensions and everything. This is made out of a Polar Tech Alpha Direct 90 weight material. This thing is extremely warm. You do have to be careful because this material snags really easy. But this is my fleece that I'm taking. This is only weighs 5 ounces as well. And it's unbelievably warm for how little this thing weighs. So I'll sleep in this, but I also hike in it on cooler days with just these 2 pieces on. So far I've been able to hike down to about 20 degrees before I need to throw over my rain jacket on top for extra warmth. So that's what I'm wearing on the top. And then when it really starts to warm up, I picked up this, it's a Patagonia Capilene lightweight shirt, really lightweight. I think it weighs less than 3 ounces. So nice material for like the warmer days. So I'm taking that. And then for the bottoms on my legs, I picked up a pair of the Enlightened Equipment, I think they're the Copperfield wind pants. So these I'll be able to layer underneath of my rain pants on the really cool days. And yeah, all these combined, I'm good to hike down to about 20 degrees before I have to dip into my my sleep layers for warmth. On the legs, I have these, what are they? Zensa, they're basically calf compression sleeves. These, I've been using these since October. These have worked really good to help with the fatigue in the calves areas. So I'll usually wear these all day hiking, and then I'll keep them on right before bedtime. Right before bedtime, I'll take these off my legs. And then I recently also picked up a pair of the Zensa. These are little compression sleeves that go around your ankle. And the main reason I picked these up is I have very cold feet. I'm usually fine hiking throughout the day, but at night I found these help circulate the blood more, and it actually keeps your feet warmer at night. I don't know if I'll hike in these, but I will wear these to sleep in. And then for gaiters, a pair of the, what are they? Tough Girl gaiters, I believe they're called. And I got 2 pair of backups on those because I found those things were pretty easy. So that is essentially the clothes I will be hiking. All right, next up is kind of my, I guess I'll call it my camp clothes and sleeping clothes. So the puffy I'm taking is what I have on here. It's the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer 2. I have the Enlightened Equipment tour jacket, but I find that this, the Ghost Whisperer, I find it to be much warmer at camp and to sleep in when I need to. So this has made the list. For my bottoms to sleep in, these, I picked these up from Senchi Designs. It's another small cottage company who also makes some apparel in this Polotech Alpha Direct material. These bottoms, they weigh 2.7 ounces, and I cannot believe how warm these things are. I have many different types of base layers, including Smart Wool 250, the Patagonia Capilene Thermal Weight, and these are the warmest piece of basic leggings that I have. I've slept down to 15 degrees, and this was the only thing I had on my legs. So these are going on really extremely cold days. If I get any, like during the day, if I have to hike in those, I've worn those to hike in too, and they're actually a little too warm to hike in, but I will if I need to. For my top layer, I have, this is the Patagonia Capilene Thermal, the quarter zip. Yeah, so this is my main sleeping layer for my top. In the warmer months, I'll be sending this home. I also, my fleece hoodie that I hike in, I also sleep in that over top of this. And then my puffy if I really need to. For my, so for my neck, you'll see a theme here. Justin also made, I had Justin custom make this. I will say all this stuff that Justin custom made, I paid full price for all this stuff. Not only did I pay full price, but I purchased all the materials and shipped it to him with the specs that I wanted. This is also the Polotech Alpha Direct 90 weight material. And I got this basically as a neck gaiter, basically on the cold nights to cover my face. And I had them put like a bungee cord in the top here so that I can cinch this down and it doesn't move. Again, this was a piece I had him make. I had him make this pretty big to fit around the beard. So another custom beard piece, I guess. For the feet, I decided to go with the Enlightened Equipment booties. I have a pair of down booties, but I think for the time of year I'm starting, these should be good enough for me. And then another pair of underwear to sleep in, or extra pair to hike in. And then the gloves I'm taking, I got a pair of the Patagonia Capline mid-weight gloves. These are primarily to hike in, but I'll wear them around camp as well. And then a pair of the Enlightened Equipment mittens. These are pretty nice. I typically won't hike in these. These are more for like around camp on really cold nights. It's nice because the top folds back and then you have access to your fingers. I think I said this in one other video. I also use these to put my electronics in here. I'll put electronics in one, and then in the other I'll put my water filter on the really cold nights. So those are my gloves that I'm taking. And then for socks, I'm taking a pair of the Darn Tough quarter cushion socks to sleep in. If I really need to, I'll hike in them as well. Primarily for hiking, I take the Ninja 5-toe socks. I like those the best. They don't last nearly as long as the Darn Toughs, but I'm taking 2 pair of these to hike in. And then also kind of part of my sleep system, I guess, is I take this, it's a little bit bigger pack towel. That's just basically clean up my body if I need to, or like an extra piece to wipe off the inside of my tent if it's wet. And then the only other part, not really in my sleep system, but just part of more of a nightly routine, is just it's one of these small cork balls used to roll out my feet. I can also roll out my calves with it, and I also use my trekking poles to roll out my calves as well. So those are basically all of my camp clothes. Oh, one more thing. I'm wearing it. I forgot I had it. So shout out to Mountain Blaze Arts, Dave and Sumiko. I custom ordered this hat from them. They didn't have any in stock, but I wanted the white blaze. I was looking for like a merino wool type of hat. So this is it's a knit merino wool hat. This thing's extremely warm. So this is mainly for around camp. I typically don't hike in like a beanie. I usually just wear my, to hike in, I just take my, my Bigfoot walking his dog hat here, and then throw on the hood if I need to. So that's all my camp clothes and sleep clothes. All right, the next group here is basically electronics I'm taking. So I got the 20,000 milliamp Anchor, I think it's the Power Essentials battery bank. That's going, I got a dual port USB-C Anchor charger, some extra memory cards for the GoPro. This attachment, which basically connects the GoPro to my phone where I can download videos. Miscellaneous cords, so like a GoPro charger cord. I got a charger for my Garmin InReach Mini. A cord here for the battery bank to recharge it. Cord for my Garmin Fenix watch, which I'm currently wearing. An extra GoPro battery, a few extra GoPro accessories. I always seem to lose these screws. Well, not always, but sometimes. Miscellaneous different types of adapters. that come in handy. A pair of Beats, like earbuds, and then Garmin InReach Mini, and then the GoPro Hero 10, and I have a protective case on the outside of it. I don't feel I need the case part, but I like this little lens cover. That works really nice to keep the lens clean, and all inside this little Hilltops dry bag. All right, the last category up is, I guess I'll call it my hygiene bag. I don't even know what to really call it, but basically it has some different smellables in here. So this is, I would store this in my food bag at night. But I keep all this stuff inside this little dry bag, not because I need to keep it dry, but it just helps keep the smell down on it. And this basically weighs the same as putting it in a Ziploc bag, but I always get afraid that the Ziploc bags are going to burst open in my bag. So first up, I got this little mini toothbrush I picked up from, I think it's lightsmith.com. So I'm taking this, and I got, in some of my resupply boxes, I have some extra one of these that will come to me. And I'm starting out with some of the, they're basically like toothpaste tablets. I kind of like taking these on my trips only because I know exactly how many I have. Where with like the little tubes of toothpaste, you never know like really, you know, how many brushes you got left in there. And then a few just of these like flossing picks, or floss, you know, flosses with like a little pick thing on it. Again, some of these will come in some of my resupply boxes. I have I don't know why I put it in this bag, but it's always in here. It's just like an extra water cap. I guess it really doesn't fit in my first aid kit. It just fits better in here. So an extra water cap. And then the rest of this is kind of beard care. This first item is a combo, like beard and foot care. So in here, this is about 3 ounces of beard butter. It's like a shea butter sourced beard butter. So I use this like when my feet get really wet throughout the day. I'll put this on my feet at the end of the day, and it helps my feet from getting cracked. But I also use this in town. After I'm done taking a shower, I'll put some beard butter on. It's the same stuff I use at home. And then also for the beard, I got a Chicago comb number, I think this is the number 8. Basically, I cut off the handle of this. It's a nice wide beard comb. Again, I don't use this on trail. This is when I get into town and have a chance to take a shower. And then a really small Kent comb. I like this for like the, you know, the sideburn area. And then this is just like, I don't know. I'm not taking, normally I'll use like a boar's head like type of brush when I do my beard at home. I'm not taking that, but I did find this brush on Amazon, so I'm taking that. I do use this on the trail. Like every morning I wake up with, man, my beard's just like beard bed or bed beard, whatever you want to call it. So I'll use this to brush it out. And then I'm taking one little razor blade and basically just using this to clean up like the neckline area and the cheek line when I stop into town. Some of this stuff definitely is not necessary, but I want to have it when I get to town. Basically the same stuff that I took on the Vermont Long Trail this past summer. So that's basically my hygiene type of stuff that I'm taking with me. And then shortly before, actually after this video, what I plan to do, I have some of the permethrin, Sawyer permethrin. I'll use this to spray down all the clothes that I'm taking. Primarily my clothes that I'm taking. There's certain parts of my pack that, you know, not like the DCF part of the pack, but on the back panel, there's some like cloth areas, and I'll spray down like my shoulder straps of it. So, I mean, it's definitely getting close to tick season, especially down south, I would assume. So I'll spray this. I should be good for, you know, 5-6 weeks, whatever, however long it lasts. But overall, this stuff works pretty good. I've used this for a couple of years now and have had good luck with it. But that is the end of my gear video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will put the different sections of it, the timestamps down below. About another week before I hit the trail. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great evening.